Hello, sir. How are you? Good morning. How are you? So, I think we can start. Just let me know if I am audible, visible, especially audible. Yeah, so let's just start. So, today I think is the final one of the notes through different axes. So, uh, it is Rahu Ketu notes at 612 axis. Oh, yeah. So no, notes at 612 axis. With it, with this one, I think we have covered all the axes because we started from 1 7. All other axes are covered till now. This one is the last. So we will discuss what kind of results we can expect if someone has Rahu or Ketu at 6th house or Rahu or Ketu at 12th house. So one common result we can find when either Rahu or Ketu, whichever planet, okay, is at 6th house. Either Rahu at 6th house or Ketu at 6th house or even Neptune at 6th house. Okay, because all these three planets represent some sort of mysticism and illusion. Okay, they uh, they kind of blur our vision. Okay, so as sixth house is the house of your diseases, illness. If someone has Rahu or Ketu or Neptune and at sixth house, person can have diseases which may be very hard to diagnose. Okay, which can be like very hard to diagnose correctly. Okay, so it is always a good advice when people have Rahu, Ketu, or Neptune at 6th, 12th axis, at 6th house, uh, then they should always look for a second opinion. Okay, one thing is common with all of them, Rahu, Ketu, or Neptune at 6th house. They should always look for second opinion when there is a doubt. Like it is not that in every disease, in every illness, you should take a second opinion. It is like suppose I went for some diagnosis. My report is showing something else, but I am feeling something else. Okay, now there is a concern, there is a doubt, so I should take a second opinion in these circumstances. So this is first thing with Rahu Ketu axis at sixth house. Second, Rahu or Ketu both represent alternate ways of medication. Okay, so whenever they are at sixth house, it shows any alternate ways of medication can be more helpful for person in curing his diseases rather than the normal allopathic medication. It is like any medication like Ayurveda, homeopathy, Reiki healing, pranic healing, or any acupuncture. Okay, any kind of alternate medication is more helpful for person if notes are at this axis. uh, the 6th or 12th axis, because these are the houses related with health. The 6th house is diseases, illness, and sixth house is diseases, illness, and 12th house is your hospitals. Okay, so this is where they need to be careful. uh, Plus it can even give some unusual diseases. Just a second. This notes at 6th 12th can also make someone have very unusual diseases. Unusual means rare, which are rarely happening to people. Very less knowledge is there, because again and they represent illusion. So there is an illusion around the illness, that what kind of illness it is. Okay, again it is like the first point, it is hard to diagnose. Okay, so this is the common theme, either Rahu at 6th house or Ketu at 6th house, it will give the this result. Now another if we look at the Rahu at 6th house, it shows a person's life path can be a lot about facing the obstacles. Okay, because Rahu is what we are supposed to do in this life. 6th house is your obstacles, conflicts, and all the difficulties in life, like health issues or disputes, your conflicts, litigation, debts. So all those things are going to expand, because Rahu expands. All the person will feel uh, uh, more involved into these things. At the same time, it can make a person clever also, because if you are dealing with these issues time and again, okay, every day you are dealing with conflicts and litigation and disputes, then you will become shrewd. You will become very clever. Okay, in dealing with these issues. So that is the thing. Then in Rahu is our materialistic achievements. So when Rahu is in the 6th house, it can make someone very shrewd in achieving in his work environment, because it is your daily work life. So they can be one of those clever employees in a corporate world who don't do much, but they are very good at showing to the people. Okay, one small email will go to the 30 BCC and 50 CC. Okay, so these are type of people with Rahu in the 6th house. They are very good at showing off their work and achieving through it. Then it is as it is also house of debts. The person can have long standing debts or dues, or conflicts, litigations, means their litigation can go for a long time. If Ketu is there, now understand that if Ketu is there in the 6th house, then first of all they are quite unaware of their work environment. What do I mean by that? That suppose someone is working in job setup, and he is not getting any benefit out of it. Okay, he is not getting any gain out of it. No R&R, no appreciation, no promotion, nothing. But he will continue to work in the same environment, because Ketu is headless. It doesn't know where to go, where else to go. Okay, what are the better opportunities, what are the better platforms I can go for my work. Okay, person has no idea about his work, because Ketu is headless. 6th house remains the house of conflicts and litigation. So with Ketu in the 6th house also, person can have lots of obstacles in life, lots of conflicts in life, uh, at the same time it can be relationship conflicts, because 6th house is 12th from the 7th, so it is the house of loss of relationship also. So with Rahu Ketu at this axis of 6th 12th, they can have lots of conflicts in relationship also. Plus what I have observed, because 6th house is houses of diseases, Ketu there can actually bring some diseases related with nervous system. Okay, because it is the natural house of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Mercury represents nervous system. So Ketu in the 6th house can give diseases related with nervous system. Rahu in the 6th house can give diseases related with allergy, bacteria, any kind of allergy. Okay. So those things are important in terms of diseases. But means if someone is like very ambitious or materialistic, then Rahu in the 6th house is a better position than Ketu in the 6th house. Okay. Ketu in the 6th house person will also gain in his life. It is not that he will not gain, because other planets will be there somewhere. Those planets will help him in understanding that where he can go next from this work environment, but at least it will take some time, it will take some effort. Okay, Rahu in the 6th house can be like very materialistic, ambitious person. Now coming to Rahu in the 12th house. Rahu in the 12th house, as 12th house is the house of losses, expenses, it can create a scenario where person is like a spendthrift. Okay, person can spend a lot with Rahu in the 12th house. He may not be able to save his money. Okay, he may gain money. Gaining money is not a problem, as I said. When malefic planets are involved with the houses related with wealth or expenses, gaining wealth may not be problem, but saving that wealth is problem. So Rahu in the 12th house can make someone very spendthrift type of person. Money may not stay in his hand. They can spend like anything. It is also the house of bad pleasures, the sexual intercourse. So they can have high sexual desires with Rahu in the 12th house. It 12th house and Rahu both represent foreign lands, so they will gravitate towards foreign lands. They will naturally feel like going to foreign lands. Okay, they will love to be in foreign lands. Means if they reach foreign lands, then they will feel like at home. Okay, it is like that type of gravitation towards foreign lands. With Ketu in the 12th house, it is said that it is a position of someone getting moksha. Okay, like Ketu in the 12th house is the one of the moksha margi position, and they say that it is the strongest moksha margi position. Ketu in the 4th and 8th are also considered as moksha margi positions, because these are moksha margi houses, these are moksha houses, and Ketu represents spirituality, liberation. So it can make someone very spiritual, and it can bring enlightenment, or it can be the person's last life or something like that. Again, my view is that we can only say that at certain point of time in his life, as per his dashas and transit, he can be spiritually evolved. Okay, we cannot judge if he will be enlightened, or if this is the last life. We cannot judge unless we are ourselves enlightened. Okay, if I am myself an enlightened person, then only I can have that type of strength. That even that I am assuming. Okay, I am assuming that if someone is an enlightened being, then only he has that power to judge if other person can be enlightened or not. Okay, we cannot make a rule that all the people who have Ketu in the 12th house will have this this enlightenment, or this will be his last life. I have seen highly materialistic people with Ketu in the 12th house position, because Rahu is there in the 6th house, and they are gravitating towards all the materialistic achievements, which is not a wrong thing. Okay, again, as I said in the last session, that it is very important to achieve your materialistic goals first before you go towards spirituality. So maybe they are at that phase. The people I met with Ketu in the 12th house are at that phase where they are first going for their materialistic benefits or ambitions, and then they will go towards their spiritual goals. Okay, so all we can say is a person will have some spiritual evolution at certain point of time, whenever he goes through a particular dasha and transits. Okay, but it cannot be said that from very beginning this person is going to be very spiritual and he will be enlightened or something like that. This is not my approach, at least. Okay, then Ketu splits. Understand one thing, that Ketu always splits. So it is a house of spirituality. They can have very split view on spirituality. Split view means they may not agree with anyone's spiritual view. If you tell them a spiritual philosophy or your belief system, they may disagree with you. They may have a separate opinion, and they should have, with Ketu in the 12th house, they are supposed to have that separate opinion. Okay, uh, so this is the important thing with Ketu in the 12th house, that spirituality can be a matter of focus, but it depends upon dasha and transit, which dasha and transit is person is going through, and that will activate the 12th house and Ketu, and then the person can be spiritual. Mm, then one important thing is that 6th house and 12th house, understand that these two houses are not very good for relationship purposes, because 6th house, as we discussed, it is the house of disputes and litigation, so it becomes the house of divorces. 12th from the 7th, so it becomes loss of relationship. 12th house is 6th from the 7th. Okay, so it represents conflicts in relationship. So whenever nodes are there in at this axis, or majority of planets are there in the 6th house or 12th house, these people can have lots of conflicts in their relationship. Okay, it may need lots of accommodation and adjustment from both the sides to sustain a relationship in this type of scenario. uh, Plus, with again, with Ketu in the 12th house, they may go to the foreign lands, but they may not like it, because it is again the separation. The difference is that Rahu in the 12th house person gravitates towards foreign lands, and he likes there. Whenever he reaches, as I said, he feels like at home. But with Ketu in the 12th house, person can go to foreign lands, but then he may feel separated from it, and he may feel, okay, fine, let me be at my homeland, or my hometown. Okay, so this can be one of the results of Ketu in the 12th house. So in a nutshell, if we see, the things to focus is mainly the health issues. As I said, this axis of Rahu and Ketu can bring unusual diseases which are hard to diagnose. It is always better to take a second opinion. And then the ambition related things, the person can be very ambitious with the Rahu in the 6th house. Person can be more spiritualistic in a particular dasha with Ketu in the 12th house. So all these things are important, but it is a difficult axis. Although Rahu in the 6th house can give materialistic approach, but or materialistic achievements, but still it is a difficult axis to have, because it is not there is not much for relationship aspect of life when nodes are at this axis. because neither of the planets Rahu or Ketu are supporting the relationship. One is in the sixth house, one is sixth from the seventh. So this is what I feel. Let's see if people have some questions or doubts. I will be more than happy to reply. Good morning, all of you. Any question? Or I think we can now do nodes at signs axis like Aries, Taurus, Libra. Means nodes at Aries, Libra axis, or Aries. Sorry, Taurus is Scorpio axis. Fine, we have some questions. I have Jupiter next to Ketu in my 12th house. Then does this lead to inclination of teaching in the spiritual area? Uh, Jupiter with Ketu in Cancer sign, you might be a Leo ascendant born somewhere in 1990. Okay. November 1990, November or October, something like that. So yeah, it is a very good combination for spirituality. Jupiter Ketu in 12th house, as they both represent spirituality. The 12th house is also of the spirituality. So yeah, this teaching in a spiritual area, this field is very much open for you. Okay, so and if you are going through a particular dasha which is supportive of this career, then you must pursue it. Rahu in the seventh house. Rahu in the seventh house is like a person who is gravitated towards seventh house related things. Normally, we look for seventh house as the house of relationship. So we can say that they are gravitated towards relationship or partner, but at the same time means seventh house also represents business. So and they can also be gravitated towards having their own business, or the dealing with people, masses. Okay, the fame aspect of life, it can be there. They would be like seeking fame with Rahu in the seventh house. At the same time, Rahu is someone's insatiable desires, something which cannot be completed in this life. So, in this scenario, what will happen is that they may have inclination, lots of gravitation towards relationship, but they may not feel the completion in that relationship. They may feel that okay, I desired this much from my relationship, but those desires are not accomplished. So this can be the difficult position for a relationship in Rahu in the seventh house. But if someone is looking for fame and being a business person, then it can be a very good position. I have Ketu in the sixth and Rahu in the. You are absolutely right. I am absolute spendthrift. I feel absolutely at home in foreign lands. Always get diseases which are hard to diagnose. Thank you. Yes. So you are born somewhere in 1990. How do I know is that I have many friends who are of the same generation. Okay, and they are Leo ascendant on also. uh, Ketu in the 12th house with Saturn and Moon in Revati. Ketu, Saturn, Moon, Pisces. Revati, last nakshatra. Does that mean liberation? For sure. There is nothing for sure. There is no guarantee in the field of spirituality. Okay. Understand that it is like uh, there can be guarantees in materialistic world that if you do such effort, you can gain that much money. If you try to make house someday or the other, you will be able to make house. But in spiritual world there are no guarantees. Okay, you have to go there blindly. Okay, all the spiritual leaders, all the spiritual gurus say one thing, is that your spiritual evolution or your spiritual search is just like gambling. Okay, you can lose, you can win, whatever. It is just a gamble. So nothing is for sure, but yeah, we can say with Ketu, Saturn, and Moon in Revati in Pisces, person can have a spiritual inclination. Okay, person can like to follow a spiritual path. At the same time, Saturn can delay the spiritual path. Person can realize his spiritual beliefs after certain age or certain time in particular dasha. But there is no guarantee that person will be liberated or something like that. I have Mars with Rahu in the 12th. 12th, how does it affect the relationship? It is again a difficult combination because uh, Rahu Mars both are malefic planets. That is the first thing we should always see when we are trying to judge any planet. The basic nature of planet. Basic nature here is malefic. Malefic planets are supposed to create hardship in our life. They are supposed to make us work hard. So now 12th house is the house of losses. It is another way of interpreting or judging a 12th house is that it is the house of losses. Whichever planet goes there, it is like in the bucket of loss. Now if you want to gain anything out of it, you have to make a special effort. Okay, so now Rahu and Mars are like in your bucket of losses. If you want to make any a good gain out of these two planets, you have to put extra effort. Now 12th house is the house, as I said, it is 6th from the 7th. Okay, 6th from the 7th means it is conflict with your spouse, conflict with in your relationship. So it is not a good position for relationship, because it will cause whenever you go through Rahu dasha or Mars dasha or their antardashas, it will cause some conflicts with your spouse. Now it depends upon your own maturity, your spouse maturity, how you both people deal with the conflicts to sustain the relationship. Okay, again, only thing I can say is that you may have some troubles in relationship. I cannot say that someone will separate or something like that. That depends upon lot of things. If you are willing to continue the relationship, if other person is also willing to continue the relationship despite having hardships, then relationship can still sustain. Okay, but it is a combination which can give lots of troubles in conflicts in relationship, and the future of relationship depends upon both the individuals, as always. Yes. Okay. Okay, September. That friend of mine is I think born in October. Do signs matter in increasing or decreasing effects? I have Rahu in Leo in 12th house. Signs do matter. Sign lord's position, especially like if they are in Saturn ruled signs. Okay, now Saturn's basic nature is limitation. Okay, So it will create more limitation, restriction, and frustration kind of scenario with Rahu in Capricorn sign. Okay. But at the same time, this limitation is if someone has Rahu in Capricorn in 12th house, so it limitation is in the field that this person will get the opportunity of going to foreign lands with certain delay and certain hard work, but it doesn't mean that he will have limited expenses. Okay. The spendthrift nature can still be there, but the opportunities of 12th house can be delayed. He may realize his spirituality with certain delay in his life, in his 30s. Mercury Rahu in 6th. It can bring some skin related diseases, which one should be careful about, whomsoever this person is. At the same time, Rahu Mercury in 6th house can make someone very clever. Okay, so at the same time, Rahu Mercury in 6th house can make someone very clever with his communications. Okay, so this is what Rahu Mercury in 6th house. All the things I talked about Rahu applies as is. Mercury will add the significance of diseases related with skin, speech, and nervous system disorder. Plus, Mercury in 6th house can make someone very clever, almost cunning. Okay, so it can create a very clever person. Thank you. I have retrograde Mars with Ketu in the 12th house. Is it have some good side also? We have to see the dignity also, means in which sign it is placed. Okay, so that also decides a lot. With Mars Ketu in the 12th house, again it shows that a person's efforts and actions can be going in foreign lands, but it depends upon the dignity if those actions and efforts are bringing some result. In the beginning of life, person can be like a very lazy person because it is in the house of losses. Mars is your actions, efforts, willpower. So in the beginning of life, they can be like very lazy person, procrastinating things and all. But when as they grow up, they may realize the value of their hard work and effort, and at that time they can be more inclined towards putting their best efforts. Their efforts, as I said, it can be in field of foreign lands. Their efforts can go towards foreign lands. It can go towards hospitals, or it can go in the matters of spirituality. All depends upon the sign and sign lord's position and overall chart. They can also be interested in something like martial arts or yoga. Okay, because 12th house is spirituality, Mars is your physical actions. Spirituality through physical actions, yoga. I have this excess Ketu in Scorpio in 6th house, Rahu in Taurus. I am very spendthrift and very tough to save. Yeah. So once you realize it, then the process of improvement should start, right? The problem is in realizing. The main problem is that you realize where is the problem or what is the problem. Once you realize the problem, the process of resolving the problem should start. So one thing you can do is that you can make a rule. that every month whatever is your salary or income, every month I need to save 10,000 rupees. Okay, so this should be the most important rule of your life. It depends upon your salary and depends upon your desire of saving. I'm just giving an example. So in the beginning of month itself, you should just segregate that 10,000 away and try to survive in the remaining of the month, in the remaining of the month. Like this, you will be developing the habit of saving. If I tell you one very good story of one of my friend, so he was like a kid. He was like some 6-7 years age, and at that time his father opened his recurring deposit account at 6-7 years of age, and every month his father used to take him to bank. Every month on a particular date his father used to take him to bank. He used to give him the form, and it means 6-7 year old kid. He used to give him the form, and the kid used to fill up the form every month, and then his father will go to that counter, give the money to that uncle, and it happened 3-4 months continuously. Then my friend happened to ask his father that why we are giving this money to that uncle. Okay, and then he said, okay, fine, we have I have opened your account, we are saving money in your name. Suppose if you have need of 100 rupees and I am not there at home, you can come and ask this uncle and he will give you money. So what his father did is that it is like giving a habit of saving from the very basic childhood. Okay, so this is important for saving is something which can be it is a habit. It can be like generated at any point of time in life, but it is best to generate this habit when a person is a child. Okay, because then it becomes part of your DNA. Okay, then it becomes your habit to save every month that amount. So you can start applying from now, and I hope it will be useful. My brother also has Ketu in the 12th with the sun in Scorpio. What can be told by this? So what I see is that he is born near eclipse, solar eclipse. So he can have troubles in realizing his true career. Okay, whenever person is born near solar eclipse, because sun is eclipsed. Sun is your vision. Sun and moon are luminaries. They brighten our path. So when they are eclipsed, it shows that person's vision about his right path in life is blurred. So he may take some years to realize what is his right life path. Till then he can be under difficult circumstances in matters of his career. Difficult because he is not following his career. I am not saying that he won't have any career. He may not following the right career, which many of us do. Okay, then it also shows someone having difficulty with the authority figures. Father at home or boss at workplace, they can have lots of difficulty with authority figures, especially as sun is also in the 12th house of losses. Okay, so whenever he tries to work under others authority, or whenever someone tries to become his authority, he will be in trouble. Okay, it is better to work on his own, and it is better to not to be in association with the people who try to be his authority. Jupiter in and Ketu in first house ascendant Aries Lagna. Again, it is a very spiritual combination. Jupiter Ketu together, they can be knowledge oriented, they can be research oriented. Jupiter in first house and 10th house is natural teacher, so they can follow the path of teaching. Jupiter Ketu both are aspecting 5th and 9th house, so it is indicative that they can be knowledge oriented. Rahu in the 7th house shows the desire to connect with people, so these people can uh, connect with other people through their education and knowledge, especially if Rahu is also in Vishakha nakshatra in Libra. My son Akash is saying hi to you, sir. Please say hi to him. Hi Akash. How are you? Enjoying your Sunday? Everyone say hi to Akash. I have Sun and Ketu in the first house. In the first house, which are in the sign of Leo. Is this overall bad in terms of self image? With Ketu in the first house, this thing also happens that Ketu represents separation, and first house is self. So person can be like separated from self. They can have lack of self confidence, lack of self worth, that I am not good enough, everyone else is smarter than me, and all that. These type of thoughts are very common with people with Ketu in the first house. Again, the Ketu is with Sun, so this person is born near solar eclipse. So again, it will give some illusion, some confusion about the kind of life path you should be following. Okay, but no eclipse is forever. Okay, understand one more thing is that eclipses are not forever. Nothing is forever. Okay, so if this person works hard in his life, sooner or later he will realize his life path, which he should be following. Uh, Again, it is not a good position for working under others' authority. It is better for you to work for yourself in a creative field, especially because Sun is in Leo. So you can follow your creative pursuits. Lot depends upon overall chart, but from this information I can tell this. My dad was also his boss at work. They worked together and it was bad for their relationship. Very accurate. He quit working after my dad passed away. I am sorry to hear this. And said that area of career wasn't for him, and has since turned a spiritual path. It is almost to my story. So I have Rahu, Sun, Moon, Mercury in Kark in Lagna. Hello, I have Rahu, Sun, Moon, Mercury in Kark in Lagna. So it is actual solar eclipse birth, right? Rahu, Sun, Moon together. So again, it is the same thing that a person will realize his life path after certain delay and hard work. The relationship with authority figures can be difficult, and person should work for himself. It depends upon overall chart what should be that work, but it can be related with Cancer type of activity like teaching, healthcare, or providing any services, nurturing others. Okay. uh, Akash got really excited hearing his name in the video. Yes, I am also excited to meet him. Thank you. That's exactly what I am grappling with, but it's becoming clearer, especially over the last year since I took a year of work. I am happy for you. Okay. So lots of questions today. This part I like more rather than explaining this a planetary position. This question answers thing I like more. Okay, I think we are done. Any further question? It was for that Ketu Sun combination. It was with me also. Like I worked with my father uh, as a lawyer, and it was not a uh, means much benefic result in that area of life. So I had to quit. Okay, Rahu in the sixth house for of Capricorn. What can be said for career? Uh-oh. Or what someone should focus on? Government jobs. Rahu in sixth house of Capricorn means the person is Leo ascendant. Yeah, it's the same chart, right? So again, as Rahu is in Saturn sign, okay, so they can have some stress around their work environment. Wherever they are working, they can have lots of stress and conflicts around their colleagues and all, but means more they work into that environment, more clever they become. Okay, so this can be the thing with Rahu in the sixth house in Capricorn. They can have debts related issues. It depends upon Saturn's position. I guess you may be having Saturn in the fifth house, so it can be like debt related with education, children, or something like that. So they can have long standing debts related with these things. Government jobs. There is an only thing called jobs, right? Not government jobs, because every job you have to work under someone else. So it is 10th house related matters. We will see at certain time. Rahu in the sixth house in Capricorn. They should focus on the house where Saturn is placed. Saturn is in fifth house, Sagittarius, so they should be focusing on higher education, teaching, counseling, sharing of knowledge, and guiding others. The more they share their knowledge with others, the more Rahu will be satisfied. Rahu is also seventh lord, and coming into the sixth house, it further makes relationship troublesome. One video on Lagna and its effects on person's looks, please. How planets in Lagna or expecting Lagna give a person certain features like long nose, less. Let's see. I am not very good at it. Rahu in Pisces in sixth house with Jupiter, Ketu, and Mars. It is completely a spiritualistic position. This person should spend more and more time in spirituality, and he will be fine. Again, spirituality is nothing like you have to go into some ashram. Okay, understand. Osho says it very nicely that if you are in ashram and you are thinking about your bank balance, then you are not a sannyasi. If you are at home and thinking about God, then you are a sannyasi. So it depends upon what goes on inside your mind. That depends upon that shows where you are. Okay, so when I say spirituality, I don't say that you need to leave your materialistic desires, or you need to go somewhere else or something like that. You can practice your spirituality just like that. Okay, even while earning millions of dollars, you can still be spiritual if you are not detached with those millions of dollars. The main thing is detachment or attachment. Okay, if someone is detached even while having lots of money, then he is spiritual. Even if someone doesn't have money but his mind has is attached with money, he is not spiritual. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, so I think we are done. Thank you. Thanks for all the questions and comments. If someone has more comments, they can feel free to put it. I will be happy to reply. Let's see next month with something else. Maybe notes at sign access. Bye. Take care. Okay. One more. That's exactly how I feel, which is why I asked about 12th repeater, because I feel like I'm best when I'm learning and teaching, especially in the self-development spiritual area. Thank you for contribution. Thank you. You're welcome. Take care.